Why does branding actually matter on your website? So let's define what that even means. So most people get stuck. Is branding just like the colors and the logo and the user interface that I have on my website? Yes, that's one part of it. It's how does everything appear? Thing that's super interesting, I just got a message for a good friend of mine. She owns a business that has $4 million of running revenue, and she's looking for a digital marketing agency slash media buyer. And she revealed to me that she wouldn't even go to certain people to schedule and book a call with them because after looking at their website, she was horrified as to how could this person say they understand marketing with a website that looks like this. And that made me want to come on here and address the fact that digital marketing agencies are almost the worst when it comes to branding. And there's this reason why. They're on one of two extremes. On one extreme, they're of the side that, well, we split test it. It doesn't matter anyway. It's really copy that converts. And they're on that side. Direct response marketing is all related to copy and it's all about the SEO. On the other end of it, people think that it actually just doesn't matter. And they're both dangerous spots. And my friend's example of her not even being willing to look at this person as an actual candidate for her business. And she runs a ton of ads. It's just crazy how much lost business is incurred by having a website that's totally out of date. It doesn't look the part and it looks like you don't care. So imagine for a second you invite somebody over to your home. It's the first time you're inviting them over, and let's say you want to do business with this person. I would imagine that you're going to go through some effort, maybe not to look perfect. You don't have to look like you're coming out of a Pinterest picture, but you are going to make some effort to tidy up your home, arrange the pillows, make things look nice, and you're going to also dress the part. So we do this as humans all the times when it comes to consumer psychology and why do people buy things? We dress the part for a reason. We have our house designed and look beautiful for a reason. We pay a lot of money for this because it gives an appearance of beauty, orderliness, organization, attention to detail, and care. So when your website design looks like it's from 1998, you're going to set the impression to your clients they can't trust you on any type of agency work you're going to do because you're going to put the details last. And if things get tired or worn out or don't work anymore, you're going to be very slow or laggard to change any of that part or that process. So my friend who sent that voice note, her story is so true. She goes, I get it. I get it. The whole like the cobbler's kids wear no shoes type of thing. She goes, but seriously, she already has dozens of other people that she could contact. And when she went through her list really quickly because she doesn't have time, she ended up finding that like, hey, I'm going to be more likely to schedule a call with the people's website who looks fresh, up to date, on brand, and actually speaks to them. So it makes such an important difference of will someone book a sales call with you or do you get eliminated out of the game before you're even in the top 3 contestants? So I just got off of a content call with my clients and we were talking about their website. We put all the branding together. It looks beautiful. It's absolutely gorgeous. It looks amazing. It's a martial arts studio. Their branding is fire what we did. When we're looking at what are we going to do with their next website iteration? Well, one of the questions that came up was like, hey, so we want to make sure our SEO is converting and, we need to make sure that, we had a blog on our previous site. Should we bring it over? And I was like, let me go take a look at it. They're like, well, it's a couple years old. And that's the caveat that people give often with blogs and websites. Blogs usually have 3 and then they die. Podcasts usually have 12 episodes and they die. And I cannot stand this. If I can tell you one thing, as a business owner, please hear me when I tell you this. You do not need to do all the different brand things. Do not do all the brand. You don't need to do the podcast and the blog and the website and the branding and the content and the speaking and the this and the that and the write the book. Don't do it all at once. What that ends up doing is you end up becoming like a sprinkler and you have divided focus and effort and then nothing takes off. It all becomes very diluted and none of your marketing actually works because the message gets diluted. your focus gets diluted, the quality of what you're putting out there just tanks, and you only have so many opportunities to create that impression in people's mind. What is branding? I always say this: branding is just perception curated. Branding is just perception curated. You are taking your brand, my brand is Launch, and in people's mind, I'm creating a feeling, an expectation, a belief in what it is that we do. We lead with our values. We also execute with our expertise and our skills. This is what you're creating when it comes to your brand. So I actually told them, I'm like, hey, I'm going to just cut you straight. These blogs are ancient and we're not bringing them over. And the minimal amount of SEO that you have left over on that is not what we would approve to be on brand moving forward. So curate your brand. Be exacting with what it is you will allow your brand to put out there. Be particular and discerning on, does this content hit? Do I want my audience to see it, or is it a no-go? So I just worked with my content team on this morning. We had a huddle around our content and what we're putting out there. And the discussion we had is like, with all of this AI stuff that's out there exploding, people are putting out stuff that is totally valueless, useless, baseless, and is not even good. I mean, sometimes I'm doom scrolling like you guys are at night, just like looking at stuff and fun. If it's not entertaining and it's not educational and there's really no reason for it to exist, it's okay to delete something that you thought that you were going to try. So if you're making 10 pieces of content, you make 10 reels on your phone, you should look through the 10 and there's only going to be one that is actually high quality enough for you to post. If that one takes off, you're like, okay, cool. People like this topic, or they liked the way the production was done, or what I was wearing, or what it was, my hashtags, how I filmed it. Then you can try a second one. But don't be afraid to discard the 80%. So this is the 80-20% Pareto principle. So to take it back, cycle this all up into one package for you, is that your website creates an enormous first impression on your clients, to the point where people will book in with you if it's attractive, if it speaks to them, if it's authentically on brand. The copy needs to hit and convert their belief, but the design also needs to feel like it's fresh. You might have a question right now. Hey, Bijal, how often should I be updating the design? The design of your website should be getting updated at least on a yearly basis. You should be doing some page additions and things should be happening on a yearly basis. A major overhaul revamp needs to be done about every 2 to 3 years on your website. You want to just refresh the whole thing. And then micro updates on like, oh, we're just going to add a section to a page, or, we're going to switch out our call to action here because now we have this new booking link. We want to test out this new hero section on top. We want to go from just having a static image into a video because we hired a dope videographer to create an exciting video on top. You want to do that like on a quarterly basis. So don't leave your website out to die. If you leave it and it gets dusty and it's never brushed up, you have no idea how much traffic you're getting that goes to that website. It's amazing how powerful Google is and how it connects to YouTube, and YouTube is just a search engine. It's a social media platform, but it's actually more disguised as SEO, search engine optimization. So Google owns YouTube, and so the two things are connected and they feed each other. That's how people find you. So with my martial arts owners, I told them, hey, this is awesome, but we're not focusing on this right now. We're focusing on amazing YouTube content for you. We're going to do that first. Once we get that dialed in, then we can go back to say we're going to do a blog. But once we decide we're going to do a blog, we're going to get the SEO and things wrapped into it. But it can't sound like a generic piece of content that AI made. It can't sound like that. So we have a completely proprietary process and product called Brand Brain that's amazing, that helps AI actually sound like your brand and not the other way around. But even after that, it needs a filter of let's put the SEO words in it. And then there still should be a last human touch to say, hey, how good does this sound? So our brand brain takes it so much further to the finish line where people only need to take a few minutes to brush things off. But don't start something if you don't have the intention to keep up with that cadence. And that ties back to our core behavior of consistent discipline. When you decide you're going to do something, you do it day in, day out, every single day. So if your website needs a refresh, if you want us to take a look at it, we are happy to take a quick 15-minute audit and just let you know where do you stand so you have an idea and an outside perspective from world-class brand strategists who can see it and show you where the holes are. So there'll be a link, hit that up. Don't hesitate, because if you're ahead of this, then you have the opportunity to make a decision on, do you want to leave those sales on the table, or do you want to be able to understand where are things really good and where are things missing so you can start to convert more people with your brand. So anyways, if you liked this video, comment below on what you liked about it, and we're going to continue to create more of this type of content. See ya.